Hey, Nancy, can you hear me?
Oh, we can hear you.
Oh, okay, good.
Okay, we're just waiting a few more minutes. It's not quite 2 o'clock. We have just a couple
Okay,
more minutes, and then I think we'll be moving forward. And Phyllis will share a little bit about the fact that we're not going to do a roll call today, so
okay,
it'll be an excused absence if anyone's not here. But
okay.
anyway, we'll just give this a couple more minutes. I know I'm getting a message that someone needs me to resend them the
The link.
information. So
Okay.
hold tight. Is that you? That's you, Kevin, right?
Yep, this is
Yeah,
Kevin.
I see your name. Okay.
All right.
Hey, Kevin.
Hey, Katrina, how you doing?
This is Phyllis. How are you today?
Oh, that's Phil. Oh, okay, I'm doing good. Okay, I see you.
Yeah, I know. I'm not showing my. I don't know why it's not showing my picture today, but that's fine with me. So.
Oh, okay, okay. Hey,
Yeah.
I
You
see
doing
that.
okay? How's it going at your new school?
It's going good. Going good.
Good.
I am doing a lot of TSI testing. You know, that's the Texas Success Initiative test.
Oh, okay.
Where students have to pass, be proficient in reading and writing,
Mm-hmm.
um, and then they're able to attend college where they don't have to pay their take those remedial courses.
Oh, okay.
So
That's a good
yeah,
thing.
yeah, that's a good thing. So yeah, that's been keeping me busy right now,
Okay. Well, good.
and
Well,
I'm
they're
enjoying.
lucky to have you there.
Wow, I love it over here. It's
Well,
real. The
good.
kids are really good. They're really good bunch of kids.
Well, that always helps, doesn't it?
Oh God, that's
Yeah, if
90.
all the grown-ups will be good, that'll make it even better.
Tell me about it. That's the one
Yeah.
we need to get on the same page.
That's true. That is true.
So how's everything going with you?
Oh, pretty good. Pretty good. I've been traveling a little bit lately, so I'm sort of tired out, but
Oh,
um, that'll get to you after a while. But it's good traveling, but tired
oh,
out. So
oh,
yeah,
God.
we've been pretty busy with NCHSE this summer and the last few months. Got a lot going on. Got our conference coming up. So
Oh, yeah. The conference is that St. Louis?
yes,
That's right.
yeah.
Okay,
Nancy's going to give
Phyllis.
an update.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's 2. It looks like we have
About
about
17.
17 people here. Yes. So,
Okay.
Mariana joined.
Oh, hey, Mariana. Good to
Hi,
hear
how
from
are
you.
you?
Good to
Good
hear
to
from
hear.
you.
Good.
Yeah. Well, we're going to go ahead and get started. And I'll just go ahead and mention that we're not going to do a roll call. Denise, I'm not sure if you're on there. We decided that we can kind of tell who's on, and that way we'll have more time for the conversation. So, Nancy, I think you were going to start it out telling them about why we do this call.
right. And so we don't get to see all of you very often. We do have an annual meeting in January each year, and then our annual conference, and then some other times throughout the year we get to see you. But it really is our commitment to provide an update for you 2 times throughout the year, just to let you know what's going on with the consortium, new initiatives or places we've been, or new members. And so usually we dedicate about 45 minutes to this call, and so we appreciate you taking the time to be here. We do have a new group with us this year, and that is since our last call, we've invited the members of the Health Science Educators Association to join us. So there's lots of teachers that are a part of that. I think we're over 150 members now. I don't want to steal the thunder, but anyway, some of those teachers are here and haven't been here before, and so we thought maybe we wouldn't just take the time to roll call everybody, but we'll see how that goes. And we appreciate you being with us this afternoon. We do have 2 new members to the consortium since our call in May, and that is the Connecticut Department of Education, and Suzanne Lau is the representative. She's the Health Science State Leader there, and I believe she covers some other program areas as well, but we look forward to meeting her. She'll be joining us at the National Health Science Conference in St. Louis next month. We also have another new member in the publishers and educational resources category, and that is Career Safe. Some of you may be familiar with Career Safe. They've been around for a while, creating safety curriculum for career and technology education programs. They do have one of their programs specifically for health science, and they're looking forward to partnering with us. And I know that some of you use that curriculum and that certification in your health science classrooms or in your state. And so their representative is Amy Gallagher, and she will be with us in St. Louis as well. And then she'll be joining us again at the annual meeting in January. So the purpose of the call is just to keep you updated. There'll be a little overlap. If you had an opportunity to read the fall newsletter, some of the same items were there. But we know some of you have different learning styles. Some people like to read, some people like to hear. So forgive us if we say a few things that you may have already read, but just wanted you to be updated in all the workings of the consortium, and we appreciate your time. So with that, I'll turn it back over to you, Phyllis.
Okay, thanks, Nancy. Can everybody see the agenda? And I think Nancy sent a copy. It should be showing on my screen. Is that up there, Nancy? Can you see it?
It is. It is.
Okay, good. Okay. Well, we have been busy since our last call, and I'm not going to go into great detail on all these things, but we'll just start out with places that we've been, and I think that's a good place to start. So hopefully we saw a lot of y'all at International HOSA in Orlando. It was extremely hot there, as I recall, but we had a really good experience there. It's always good to be there with the students and advisors. If you were able to stop by in the expo, we were in there, and we had a giveaway in there that teachers that visited the booth could sign in, and I don't recall who won that, but anyway, somebody won a registration, I believe, right, Nancy, to the conference. So that's an exciting thing. We also give away scholarships. So we gave 5 scholarships this year. They're $1,000 a piece, and it was really Nancy, Cindy, and I were at the scholarship event, and it was really nice to be there and meet the students that won the scholarships and have conversations with them. And we also had ads in the program books, and a really exciting thing is the Health Science Certificate Lab. We did that in partnership with Precision and Cengage. That's where the students could come in and participate in our assessments. We had a record number this year of students participating. It was very well organized and went really great. We appreciate that partnership with Precision and Cengage for helping make that happen. It gives students an opportunity to be exposed to our assessments, and they're really excited about taking these tests. So that's kind of a refreshing thing to see. But that was a real positive for us this summer. We appreciate those that were able to help us out at the booth and everything. I know Mariana helped us out. Katrina and Cindy and Nancy and I were there, as well as Robbie. So we appreciate everybody being there. We also made some appearances at some state conferences, and those are listed there for you. Generally, those states had asked us to come and talk a little bit about the consortium and what we do. And I think that's a good thing, especially in states. Laura went to Massachusetts, and they're not a member at this point. We hope maybe they will join, but I think that's really good for them to see what we're doing, because their teachers can certainly still come to the conference and things like that. So Nancy just recently got back from HPN, and I remember her saying that there was a wonderful speaker there, and maybe she'll tell us about that later. But that's usually a good opportunity. That's the Health Professions Network meeting, and that's different groups are represented there, mostly from your allied health areas. So I'm sure Nancy will probably share more with that later. And then we had our executive council meeting in August, and it was the first time I was meeting from afar. I hurt my knee, and my doctor wouldn't let me travel or be on my feet, so I had to do a remote call-in for the whole thing, which was interesting. But I wish I had been there, but I was with them, but just, in voice only, I guess you'd say. So it was really good to have all the new people there. All of your membership category representatives were there, and I think they're going to share a report in a little while. But that was good. That's kind of where we do some planning for the year. We worked a lot on the conference and just, you know, things that we want to do to keep things going strong, and maybe new components that we might consider looking at and so forth. So that's a big time for us to get ready for the year. I don't know if you've been on our new website. It's definitely been transformed, and I think it looks great. We had some hard work going on with that, and there's still maybe a few little things that they're adding and changing and, you know, just fine tuning, but I think it looks really good, and it's a lot more user friendly, and it looks real professional. So if you haven't had a chance to check that out, please go in and do that, and so that you'll know what, when you're looking for things, you know, they're a lot easier to find them. And there's also information on there that you may want to share with your teachers, or if you're teachers that are on this webinar, you may want to share with your colleagues, things that can help you. We will also be having a presence at ACTE in California. We're doing 2 workshops there. We went last year. We think it's really good for us to have a great relationship with them, and we feel like we do. We have kind of different focus, and so we kind of feel like we kind of the 2 organizations complement each other. So we hope we'll see some of you there, and that's in Anaheim coming up in December. So we're doing those things. We've also been trying to work hard to make some new connections and partnerships, and we'll, as those situations grow, we'll share those with you as well. But we feel like it's important to, we'd like to have some representatives in our health science industry group and grow some of those areas as well, because I feel like those can really help us in our goals to create such a quality workforce. And y'all are all doing a great job out there, so we appreciate that, and we want to support you. I think that's about all I was going to share. A lot of things are going to be talked about in the reports. So, and at the end, we'll have a time for questions or comments. If anybody has any, we'd certainly love to hear from you. So now I'll turn it over to Shelley, who's going to give a report for our finances. Shelley, are you there?
I am. Hi, everyone.
Hey.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, perfect. Just for a quick NCHSE Treasurer report, NCHSE currently has 2 existing bank accounts. The reason being is that the original was in a different state than basically where our finances are being transitioned out of. So there's been a transition to move and ultimately end with 1 account. But currently we still have 2 in the PNC bank account. The balance as of yesterday was $23,628. And in the First Bank of Oklahoma account, that is where the majority of the funds are, and also where the transitioning account will be. As of yesterday, that balance was $249,540. So the 2 accounts together totaled $273,168. Just a little bit for the year-to-date revenue as of 10/9/19 yesterday was $156,729. Just a note to know that we'll continue to move toward a more positive revenue as we get closer to the NCHSE conference, which is upcoming in November, along with all of the membership dues that will continually come in this fall prior to our January meeting. The year-to-date expenditures are $175,125. We have been working with an accountant on a 2018 audit with the transition of Nancy being in her new role. We're in the last phases of that, but we do not have a completed report yet. So we will share final results of the 2018 audit in January 2020 when we see you face to face. Does anyone have any questions? All right, then I will pass it back to, it looks like, Cindy for a National Health Science Assessment General Report.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Cindy LeCoq from snowy Colorado, and I'm on the phone rather than the computer, so I don't have everything in front of me because my computer has sort of not working this morning for some reason, but I will do my best. So at my report in May at our last all-board conference call, we focused on the validation of the National Health Science Assessment, as well as the revision of the standards and the development of a 4-course framework that is based on those standards. And since May, we have pretty much finished the 4-course framework, and that will be shared at the National Health Science Conference in St. Louis. And we also participated in the certificate lab that Phyllis had mentioned at International HOSA. This is the second year of the pilot, hugely successful. It's to expose the students to certificate exams, give them the opportunity to walk home with a certificate that maybe, you know, they can show what they can have learned, and maybe they might not be a finalist in the national HOSA events, but they can be with a certificate lab. And there was over 460 participants. We were restricted by the number of computers. There were 21 computers that were provided by Cengage, and Precision Exam staffed the certificate lab the whole time, and it was incredible just to keep everything copacetic, I will say, because people were lining up to take the exams. I did do an informal evaluation of the students. So out of the 460 plus exam takers, I had 397 evaluations of the certificate lab that were overwhelmingly positive. The students really support the exam. 391 responded that they would recommend the certificate lab to their fellow students. The certificate lab is also going to be featured at our National Health Science Conference in St. Louis, so the teachers have an opportunity. And the benefit and the reason we're really pushing the certificate lab is many, but mainly we all know that health science programs across the nation are varied, not only in the number of semesters that health science programs are provided, but also on their content. And so the National Health Science Assessment is really an end-of-program assessment, whereas the certificate exams are more end-of-course. And so there were 25 certificate exams that were featured, the most popular being the Introduction to Health Science, which has now been renamed Health Science Fundamentals, the Biotechnology, and the Nurse Assistant were the top most popular. The highest performing exams were the 21st Century Success Skills, the Dental Assistant, and the Medical Assistant Medical Terminology. One thing I'd also like to share is that we also offer the National Health Science Assessment and a program exam, and all of these exams, almost across the board, increased significantly in pass rate from when it was offered the year before, and the pass rate for our national end-of-program assessment was over 71%. So it was highly successful. The students obviously felt very excited in participating, and it was at no cost. So great partnership, and I can't say enough about it. And again, one more time, I'd like to say it's going to be featured at our conference in St. Louis. Our National Health Science Assessment for the end of the year, I got to find that information. We had over 21,549 national end of programs health science assessment taken this year, with 24 states being involved, 15 of which were our NCHSE member states. This is down about 2,000 exams from the previous year, just for various reasons. But again, it's whether the program that you teach or your teachers have in your state need an end of program versus the certificate exams. There were over 60,000 certificate exams given, as well as the National Health Science Assessment. So that, again, very successful and is a wonderful and validated exam. The other thing I'd like to say is we updated not only the standards and the test blueprint, but also the assessment certificate, so that if you look at the sample certificate that a student earns, it shows the value of the assessment. And on the front, it also has, we have added how it's supported by the Tri-Council of Nursing and the Health Professions Network. It's nationally recognized as the assessment for health science programs. And on the back, we have updated the health science standards, and those really speak to the business and industry, to employers, to know where the student's knowledge is concentrated.
The exam?
Uh-huh. Oh, I thought I heard something. In addition, we've updated the website under the assessment section. We have the new blueprint. The National Health Science Assessment sample test has also been updated and now includes 32 questions. So it's been a wonderful, successful year for assessments, and I think that's everything I have. Do you have any questions on that? Or we can hold them for the end.
Cindy, maybe you want to mention about the member states and the state leaders receiving that email about accessing their data.
Thank you. Yes. I sent out a email to all the member states announcing how the end of the year results are in for the passing rates per standard on the National Health Science Assessment. And so there was 2 attachments. One, of course, was explaining where the top performance per standard were nationally, as well as how each member state can access their data to compare with the national data. And so that was distributed, I think it was last week. And if you have any questions on how to access your data, you can either contact me, that's all my contact information with that email, or customer support at Precision Exams.
Thank you, Cindy. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, now I think Nancy's going to go ahead and talk a little bit about our resources and some potential changes with those. Nancy?
Yes, thanks, Phyllis. Before we move away from the National Health Science Standards, I thought this might be a time that Robbie, you're with us, correct?
Correct.
All right. Would you like to share with those on the call about the standards rating tool that will soon be available?
You bet. And Cindy's going to also talk about this more at the conference. So if you're in attendance there, make sure you check out her sessions in regards to the exam information and so on. But Precision Exams has released over the last couple of years a rating tool to rate all the standards in relationship to our exams. Just recently, we were able to add the newest standards, the newest version of the NCHSE standards to that tool, that option. And what this allows is it allows for anyone, literally anyone, teachers, administrators, industry partners, anyone to come in, create a profile so we know who they are, what their background is, maybe what companies they work for, again, how they relate as a subject matter expert. But then they can also go in and rate the individual standards from this website. And they can give their opinions on how this relates to industry, relates to the specific fields. They can give feedback as far as, this information seems very basic or very easy. This information seems more complex. But yeah, that's what we're hoping to do, is to gather more feedback as we strive to make these assessments that industry recognized credential and certification opportunity for students to earn. So we'll have more about that, but if you are interested, I don't have a way to project right now, but it is, if you want to write this down, it's rating, R-A-T-I-N-G, rating.precisionexams.com/APP for app. So one more time, it's rating.precisionexams.com/APP. And we'll have more about that at the conference in November. So thanks, Nancy.
Okay, thanks, Robbie. I think that'll be a great tool for us as we build marketing and awareness for the National Health Science Standards. And so with that, you will recall that the National Health Science Standards were first released in the early 90s, and over time, they've gone through several revisions. The foundation standards, the 11 standards, basically have stayed the same, but underneath the standards, the objectives have been expanded or revised to correlate with today's practice classroom delivery. So with that, we have over the last probably or more years had a resource called the Health Science Curriculum Enhancements. And this was curriculum teachers to use to supplement the classroom resources that we have from our great publishers and educational resource providers, not to replace, but to give them more activities to use in the classroom, lesson plans, test sample items. But the resources that we have now do not correlate with the new standards or the standards that were revised in May of 2019. So it's now our responsibility to update those and have them current, so that when teachers are teaching the National Health Science Standards and are assuring that their curriculum is aligned to these standards, that they have the resources that they need that are current. So with that, we will produce an RFP, and we will put that out to subject matter experts, to teachers, to curriculum developers, to bid, to give us, to give us samples of their work, and to respond to this RFP, which will go out November 1st. So with that, if you, members on this call, if you have persons that you would like to recommend for us to send the RFP out to, if you would like to get the RFP yourself, if there's subject matter experts that you work with through your resources that you develop, I'm speaking specifically to the publishers here, feel free to send those names, contact names, and email addresses to me. And then on first, we will send that RFP out. And I think there's about a 4 to 6 week turnaround time on that. We anticipate the timeline would be that this work would be complete and ready for release for the 2020-21 school year. So that's where we are with updating that resource, and we look forward to sharing that RFP far and wide and getting the best person to refresh and revise the enhancements as they are now. In addition, some other work that we've been involved with, you'll remember that we did a webinar in May. We did that with the American Speech Language Hearing Association, and they did a great job sharing about careers in the in audiology and speech language pathology, a little bit about the workforce data, and a day in the life of a speech pathologist or an audiologist. And that webinar is on our website. In September, we did a webinar with one of our newest partners, the Pharmacy Technician Certification Board. They had lots of new initiatives and updates that will be in effect in January of 2020. And we know that in your states, many of you offer pharmacy technician training programs, and then those students go on to take the PTCB to become nationally certified. And so we felt like it was important to get that information out to those of you that have these programs or may be interested in these programs, and just find out how students can become nationally certified and support their interest in careers in pharmacy. So that was a huge success, and we're working with our webmaster right now to get that link posted on our website. So if you didn't have an opportunity to attend one of those webinars in September, then that link will be on our website shortly, we hope, along with the PowerPoint deck that you could use to update teachers or refer to yourself if you're interested or have interest in the PTCB. We will have 2 to 3 more webinars this school year, and we're planning those, and we'll get that information out in advance of the next webinar that will maybe be toward the end of November or early December. The National Health Science Conference, we've mentioned a couple of times. We are in St. Louis. The pre-conference is November the 5th. We have 2 strands. One is the Institute for Educational Excellence, which will have a focus on leadership, as well as effective item writing. And some of you have done a great job and nominated teachers from your states to come and have an opportunity to develop more leadership skills and then hopefully be a part of the team in your state. So we have about 20 teachers registered for that strand. The other strand is activities in a pinch, and you may be familiar with this. We've done it a couple of times within our IEE at past events, and it's always been extremely popular. And Robbie Rousey and Denise Abbott are the presenters for this pre-conference session, and we have about 20 people registered for that one as well. So I tell you those numbers to say that there are a few more openings there. So if you have teachers you'd like to recommend or encourage, or if you're a teacher yourself, there is a spot for you. The conference will be on November 6th and 7th. We're in the Hilton Frontenac, which is not really downtown St. Louis, but it's in a nice area near the airport. They have a airport shuttle service. There is a nice mall with some high-end stores right across the street, so that's always an attraction for the evening, and nice restaurants all around the hotel. There will be about, I think, 60 different concurrent sessions, and we'll have 3 keynote speakers for the general sessions in the morning. We'll have some lunch sessions too. We'll be doing a live virtual diagnosis from a third world country with some post-secondary students and with leadership initiatives. So that'll be exciting for you as if you're able to attend to be able to witness that. Our registration is lagging a little behind from where we were last year, and we've been trying to promote the conference as much as possible. We'll do a couple of more email blasts before the end of October to encourage more attendance. You will recall that this is the first time that we've had the conference on an odd year. Up until this year, this conference has been held every other year. And so as we attempted to expand our footprint and be more supportive with professional development to teachers across the nation, we decided to offer this conference annually. So we will be deliberate about regionally hosting this conference. So if teachers in the Midwest can come this year, but can't come next year, we'll be in the Southeast. We'll be in Charleston, South Carolina, the end of October for 2020. So we look forward to getting a few more registrations between now and conference kickoff time on November the 6th. We do have 2 conference sponsors, and we're thankful to Pocket Nurse, and they sponsored the conference bags, and we're thankful to Pass Assured for sponsoring the conference lanyard. We are excited that the exhibitor space sold out, and so we have 33 exhibitors, and we're taking up every corner of the convention center for our exhibitors. So we look forward to welcoming them there, and we hope to see some of you there. And if you can be helpful to us in promoting this opportunity, we would so much appreciate that. I don't know if Angel is on the call. I know she mentioned that she may have a conflict.
So these are our membership categories. Oh, she's here. Good, Angel. We're glad to have you present your report. Thanks, Nancy.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Angel, you can just go ahead and kind of tell a little about your group, I guess, and any information you might have you may want to share with us.
Okay. My group's the same old state leaders group that gets together in January, but we're trying to make more state leaders aware of the membership at NCHSE and what NCHSE has to offer them and why they should be a member. And that's one of our goals for while I'm here, at least. We also have gotten on the ball with our state leaders meeting in January, and we've already sent out the first email on that. They're getting a survey next week on that to see what they want to hear. There may be some vendors involved with that or some other publishers. So I'll be reaching out to them if we need them to come present on anything. And as usual, we'll ask them when they want the publishers to be able to come in, and definitely they'll be there in the afternoon. I don't know what they'll vote on for the morning. So that's kind of
Okay.
where we're at on that.
All right. Thank you, Angel. So if you have questions about state leaders, you can just check with Angel, and I'm sure y'all will be sharing emails. So,
yeah.
Okay. So our next membership category group is our Publisher Education Resource Group, and we're really excited about how many members we have in that group. That group has continued to grow and be strong and be supportive. And so Nicholas Wells is that representative. And Nicholas, are you online?
Yes, I am.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Well, first of all, thanks for having me again. I've been in touch with the publishers group before our meeting in St. Louis, and then briefly I've talked to a few of them since then as well. One of the things that we're going to be working with is first of all, I'm going to send an updated directory for the publishers. I'd like to send it to Phyllis and Nancy for you guys to review to make sure all the members of our category are listed. Because I don't think I had all of the information for like CareerSafe who just joined. I need to add that in there. And then I'd like to, this will be for the updated directory, and also for my category to communicate internally with each other. So I'll be sending that on. The publishers group, we submitted some website recommendations, and it seemed like the majority of those were actually implemented, and we appreciate that. Also, I've scheduled to be meeting with Laura and Katrina about the resources, the enhancements, to analyze what all is there. And then I will communicate that information back to the publishers group to see if there's any interest of any of the publishers being able to assist in whatever's necessary, or if there's additional content that could be submitted from our organizations. So that is something that's also in the works. And then I'd say probably lastly, let's see. What was it? There was one more thing that I had written down. Well, I think that may have been intertwined with the other things. So, but also we will be working with the publishers group to see if there's any marketing needs that the organization needs, and if any of the publishers will be able to help out on that as well. So, or have an interest in that. So. That's kind of the summary.
Thank you, Nicholas. We appreciate you sharing that. And thanks to all of the publishers and resource people who are always supportive of us. We really appreciate it. Well, okay, Kathy Celia is now going to report on professional organizations. Are you there, Kathy? Okay, Nancy, did she send anything to you, or?
She didn't send anything to me. So
okay.
I know that she did copy me on an email that she sent out to the members in this category. Okay. So I know she updated them about our meeting in August. And so she has been in contact with her members.
Okay. We all have conflicts with work too. So I'm sure that maybe was an issue for her. So I'm sure she'll be in touch with everybody that's part of that membership category. And we're glad to have Kevin with us. And Kevin, do you have anything to report on secondary and post-secondary institutions?
No, I don't have much. Primarily, I've been trying to speak to a lot of the schools here and informing them about the programs that the resources that we have. The school in which I'm here now, they're at probably got about 60 students or more in their HOSA program, and it's growing. They were very interested, and I want to make sure I get that information out. And also, I want to give those names for the RFP. I talked to them about sending those names, and I think they'll be very excited of doing those things.
Okay, that would be great. So that'd be good for you to share that out through your group. We appreciate that, Kevin. And now Katrina and Laura are going to share about the Health Science Educator Association. We're real excited about this group, and it's growing. And I will stop sharing this and pull up the PowerPoint Katrina sent me. I'll try to. Let's see.
And I'm going to defer to Katrina.
Okay.
Okay.
Locate it.
Thanks, Laura. So the Health Science Educator Group has been in existence for a little over a year, and isn't that right? And it's grown to at least 145 members. And
that's all true.
Right. Okay, so if you'll pull up the second slide, Phyllis, it's not a lot to it, just in a nutshell, because we want to keep this call to an hour. We have the Moodle page, which listed the teacher resources. We have added to that Facebook private group. That's a group that you can see. It's open to the public to see it, but you cannot access it unless your membership is approved. So it's been really good because the members, we have 43 members, I think, and they've been sharing their bio information and sharing some other information, and we're just kind of getting that started. We have an Instagram account that's HSEA_group. Some of the, some people like to share pictures and snapshots instead of long files and that kind of thing. We also have a Twitter, and I think the Twitter will be useful if we can join in some career and technology industry chats, like the Twitter chats, like ACT has one, and there's another one called CTE Chat that's weekly. It's Career and Technology Educators. And we have an email group through groups.io, and so all of our members are on an email group that is set to digest, so they don't have to think about joining the email group. They're already on there, but they can unsubscribe if they want to. So that's been good because we've already gotten some questions about the Moodle page and some other things, and that's where I posted some notices about this conference call and some of the upcoming things for the conference. So Phyllis, if you could just scoot to the next slide. So
okay.
we're hoping to add to that a Google Drive for ease of access to the teacher resources. It works just like Dropbox, but I think a lot more people probably have Google Drive than Dropbox. And so in a nutshell, we're really expanding the ways that our members can talk to each other and to other people in the industry. And I really look forward to seeing how that's going to grow. And I really got to give a huge shout out to Nishi and especially Laura, because Laura, you've laid such an awesome groundwork for that group. And so please say a few words about how this group got started.
Well, I think most people probably know, but we just decided about a little over a year ago, I guess, that the only way we could truly grow our organization was by revamping, and that's what we've done. And one of the main focuses we wanted to do was to not have to rely on a state leader, and many times those positions are very flexible, and someone may be there and then not there 3 months later. And so we wanted to be able to talk directly to the teachers, and it's still a pretty small number, but it fascinates me that almost every day, and some days you'll get 10 registrations in one day. So one of the things that we've decided to do was to waive, I don't know if this is the time you wanted to talk about it, Nancy, or not,
yeah,
but
perfect.
We've decided to waive the membership fee for anyone who registered prior to this past August, and that it's basically you get 2 years for the price of one for membership, because we weren't really perhaps as prepared as we wish we would have been as far as invoicing and so on. Secondly, and Katrina has the skills to develop all of these great social media accounts, and she's been extremely active doing that. I think that, plus our conference coming up, are really going to launch this into exactly what we had hoped. Teachers are hungry for information and for ideas for their classroom, and so far it's looking like that's exactly what it's going to do. We also, one final thing about membership. In August, we did set some numbers for group memberships. So, for example, in the state of Oklahoma, I have 400 teachers. So, if I wanted to, if I could somehow figure out to pay for all of my teachers to be a member, I could enroll or register every one of them, and instead of costing $45 like it would for an individual, it would cost $25. And so anyway, we've set up I guess a chart that tells you with however many hundreds of people or whatever, this is how much your group would cost. And that's one thing that that will be a primary focus of us getting out to not only the teachers who don't have a state lead, but also to all the state leads out there, because as we traveled this summer, they were really hoping that we would be able to come up with something so that they could maybe not pay as much, but that way everyone would have access. So that's where we're at.
And we're also going to have our first meeting at the national conference. Not sure when, but we'll have our first in-person teacher meeting.
Okay, so we hope we have lots of teachers there that can attend. Y'all take advantage of this. It's a great opportunity for you as a teacher, and for state leaders, it's a great opportunity for you to share a way that these teachers can get wonderful resources and help each other. So, you know, that's kind of the best thing out there, I think, helping each other as teachers. So we're all in it for the same reasons. So thanks to you girls for all you've done to make this happen, and it seems like it's really growing. So we're really excited about that. Nancy's going to share a little bit about our annual meeting, which will be in January for our board members. And Nancy, if you'll give that report.
Sure. So you should have gotten an email in September about the upcoming 2020 consortium annual meeting, and you have the dates there on the screen. You received a link where you can go in and RSVP whether you be able to attend. We will make hotel reservations for everyone. Those of you without travel benefits, then when you check into the hotel, you'll be able to provide your method of payment. We will have those confirmation numbers out to you prior to the meeting. You have sort of a skeleton agenda, because I know that many of you need an agenda to be able to travel. And so that agenda accompanied that email that went out in September. And then we'll be doing a more detailed agenda probably sometime in early December. So we look forward to building out that agenda and having some sessions that are very pertinent for the work that we all do for health science education. And so with that, I'll pass the mic to Cindy, because this will be happening at the annual meeting as well, election of officers.
All righty. A letter went out to all of you, I think it was around mid-September. It was a call for nominations because the NCHSE Executive Council is seeking nominations for both chair-elect, that's a 2-year term with an additional 2 years as chair and then 2 years as a past chair, so a total of 6 years, as well as the position for secretary for the 2019 to 2021 term. As described in the NCHSE bylaws, the office of the NCHSE chair-elect serves on the board of directors and executive council, and in the absence of the chair-elect performs all duties of the chair. I do need to note that to be eligible for the chair-elect, a board member must have served previously on the executive council for 1 year before running for the office of chair-elect. Also, the position of the secretary is open, and the secretary serves on the board of directors and executive council and keeps the complete records of all official proceedings. And Denise, the day has been wonderful. She stepped up to the plate to fill the year position that was vacated by Tara Bell, and she's interested. And I've received the nomination that she's still interested in continuing that. I really can't say enough about serving on the executive council. It really widens your scope of what's happening in health science programs across the nation, as well as provides you an opportunity to leave your imprint and impact on health science education. It's so, so important. And it's a dynamic group, and I can't say how wonderful an experience it's been for me. So the nominations are open. I encourage people to nominate others or nominate themselves. And yeah, so please respond, and I'll turn it back over to Nancy and Phyllis.
Thanks, Cindy. We appreciate that. So just be sure and get that into Cindy as soon as possible. We encourage you to be involved. Like she said, it's a great opportunity, and I think you'll be blessed by being a part of this group and being in the leadership roles. So I think we've pretty much covered everything, but we wanted to be sure and ask if anybody had any questions or recommendations or ideas. If you have any of those, this is a time to ask those questions. So if you have any, just let us know. Quiet group today.
Whitney, are you still on?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so I don't know whether Laura, did you and Katrina see Whitney said that they were thinking about a group membership, I think, for Illinois. Is that what?
We are in conversations with the board of our Illinois Health Occupations Association to see what we could do to make this work for Illinois. That really is a group where we're trying to show teachers added benefits, and if we can find a way to combine, the benefits of both the Health Science Educators Association at the national level with what we're doing in Illinois, I think it might help us reach more health science teachers. That was our hope. It may take us a while to work through this. They're a pretty small group, pretty busy group, but they are definitely passionate about their work. So just being able to have that option, we appreciate that because it allows us to open up that conversation with more teachers in our state.
Oh, that's good to hear, Whitney. Thank you.
We're excited. We really think it's going to be helpful. I know that Georgia's expressed some interest. I was at Massachusetts this summer. They expressed interest. Like I said, even my own state, where they have someone that's pretty active on the national level, but they always act like I haven't told them anything. So maybe that'd be perfect. So.
Okay. So if any of you have any other additional questions about your states, then just get in touch and we will give you the information that you need. So any other questions about any of the things we've discussed or anything else? Yes.
I've got two things.
Okay.
Some of that information about the state membership would be great for me to share with the state leaders. And also Nancy, and I don't know who else is involved in this, as from a state leader's perspective, I've got the invoice for NCHSE to pay. However, it went through the process and they sent it back to me because the address is different from the old address. So that may need to be changed in a lot of people's systems.
Yeah, and thank you for bringing that up, Angel. The W-9 is on our website. So if that's what you need to make that change, it's under the Partner With Us. That's the name of the page, Partner With Us. And if you scroll all the way down, the W-9 is there. But if you need me to send it to you, I'll be happy to do that. But yeah, whenever there's a change in location, it always involves a little bit of challenge, but hopefully we're stable for a few years. But the W-9 is there and available if anybody needs that.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, well, we've kept it under an hour, so that's a good thing. We really appreciate all of you. Oh, what now?
Yeah.
Any question? Another question? Okay, so we really appreciate all of you taking the time to join, and if you think of something, you certainly can email, and the contact information, if you don't have it ready, is right there on our website. Be sure you take a look at that website. We're really proud of that, and let us hear from you if you're interested in knowing more about the RFP or any of those kind of issues. So we certainly appreciate it, and I know that some of you will be attending the annual board meeting, and we hope a lot of you will be attending the conference, and we look forward to having some more time to talk and just keep making things better for health science education. Thank you, everybody. Good afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, guys.